Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the channel if you are new, and welcome back to the channel if you are not new. Happy Easter. It's Easter Sunday. I have literally not really done much today. I've done a workout, watched some TV, I've had some chocolate. I've done quite a bit of colouring. So I thought while I'm feeling the colouring vibe, I'd jump on and do a kind of like mini, so sneak peek. I've just finished this page, so that if you can see that, that's why. But I wanted to work on this page and try something different, so I've jumped on really to do like a little bit of a colouring chart, a little bit of a distress playing with some inks, because I've got an idea for a background for this page that I'm going to do first. But I've just noticed that this page is really scratched. I don't know why. Bit random, but never mind, it should be fine. I've had a bit of an idea for this page. Obviously it's the 4 elements, and I wanted to kind of try and do something with the background. Like I've never really done out like this before. So what I'm thinking is kind of like sectioning the page and blending the inks together, like in the element colours, bringing a bit of the colour into the glass, because obviously the glass bottles will be see-through, and then kind of going around the outside with some pumice stone, which is really dark grey, to kind of create, I don't know, some kind of background. I'm just going to go with it and see what happens. So I've pulled out, sorry, return drink, some tons of distress ink. So we've got some Mermaid Lagoon, some tumbled glass, prize ribbon, saltwater taffy. I've got the pumice stone that I mentioned, brushed corduroy. I've never used this one, but I'm thinking for the earth mushroomy one maybe. Some barn door and some rustic wilderness. So it might be that these colours change as we go, but we'll just see. I'm going to use some of the tumbled glass first. And we're going to start off with this water element bottle here. That's done absolutely nothing. No ink whatsoever has come off that brush. Oh, it did there. So why is it not? This is a very, very light blue. So I'm really going to try and load up that brush. I'm just not a big fan, I'll be honest, of those brushes. Let me try a different brush. So I'm going with the lightest colour first. Just because it will let me sort of go right up to the illustration and kind of bring some of that colour in. I think I'm going to do the rest in Inktense. I've not decided yet, but I'm going to do the whole page as a bit of a colouring chat anyway. But I just want to try and get this blue down. And I'm going to use one of the darker blues towards the edge, I think. I just think it'll maybe look a bit better. But yeah, I'm just not a big fan of them other brushes. These ones are far better. I don't know if it's because they're softer or... But the ink just seems to move better. So then I'm going to go with the Mermaid Lagoon, which is a beautiful blue. You can see that. Can't remember where I got these. Through just off Amazon, I think. Actually, I might get some more of these because I do much prefer I feel like you get a better. So I'm just going in those bits that I've kind of left. I wanted to use that light blue so I could try and get up to the bottle as close as I could. I mean, this might look absolutely appalling when it's done, and I won't be bothered. I'll just whack some ink scents all over the page and get it done. But excuse me. The idea of in my head is kind of like the background will match like the elements, kind of. We shall see. I just feel like I do the same thing with my ink backgrounds. So I just wanted to try something a bit different. But it's kind of a mini colouring chart. It's definitely not a tutorial because I don't know how this is going to actually pan out. It might look absolutely dreadful. But hope we're all well. Hope everyone's doing well. Hope everyone's had a lovely, lovely Easter Sunday, whether you choose to celebrate it or not. Hope you've had some chocolate. I'm not going to lie, I have, even though I was specifically woke up and thought, right, that's it now. Back on the diet, let's get on it. Messed about with it this week, if I'm being honest. I think I'm just going to add a tiny bit of the prize ribbon. Not too much, because I do want to add that pumice stone. But I actually do love mixing these blues. I'm kind of tempted to do the whole page blue now. Instead of my original idea. No, let's stick with the original idea. I can always do another page blue. There's loads that I want to colour in this book anyway, so I won't be short for a page to do. So that's the blue, I think. So that's going to be my water bottle. Right, next I want to use this. I don't know what this is going to be like, this brushed corduroy. I've never used it before. Oh, it's brown. So carefully, see, I think I can just go back in and add and go over. I just want to try and bring that down, but this brush is quite big, so I might have to get a smaller brush in a minute. I've lost my ink. Now, I'll be totally honest, I'm not that fussed if it goes on the illustrations in this one. This is going to be just kind of a fun Oh, I'm not even in shot. It's going to just be like a fun page, really. It's not going to be one of those. I'm not aiming for realistic, like, do you know what I mean? So I'm kind of liking that, but then what you can do then, you see, is if I use... Can go back over that then. I mean, I know these colours are not necessarily like blendable, as in they don't really go together, but not mad at it. Now I think I am going to have to use one of these. Now I'm going to use the saltwater taffy, which is the newest one. Now this is definitely more of a pinky red, but again I just want to put it down to get as close to the illustration. Then we'll go in with the, I can't remember what colour I've gone for, barn door. I'll have to check that because maybe it might be the other one that I'm wanting. I don't think I've used abandoned coral, which is quite pinky red. Do really like that colour. With this, actually it works really well with the saltwater taffy. But this is just so I can kind of get that. I always call it like a glow, you know, where it's not as dark around the like actual illustration. Messed up a little bit there, got the brush stuck. But now I'm going to still use this brush. I'm not a massive fan, but we're just going to go for it. I'm just going to check this because I think this is like a pure red. Yeah, it is. So this is where we're going to bring in that fire element now. So it's going to be a bit of a crazy background, really. Could do with a more of a darker brown, but I'm going to use that pumice stone around the edges and I'm just going to try and blend it. Sort of it. I've never used like, I do love an ink background. I do love an ink, I absolutely love it, as you know. But I'm quite boring, shall we say. If I'm going to do a background, it's blue and I use all the blues, and if I'm going to do a green background, I use all the greens. Tend to not go wild. This is very wild for me, but kinda liking it. I think we'll keep going and see what happens. And this might need a little bit more, actually. I'm going to just add a bit more of this brushed corduroy. Oh, that was nearly a disaster because that's blue. Oh, hang on a minute, I've gone wrong here somewhere. Got missing ink. Mermaid Lagoon had the wrong lid on. Yeah, the Mermaid Lagoon lid was on the wrong one. So no, it's kind of gone a bit green where it's mixed in with that blue, but I'm not actually that bothered. And then I don't want to ruin this page because I'm obsessed, so going to cover it. I'm going to come in with this. Now this green I think is quite dark. I love it. I absolutely love it. I'm going to go with it. Sod it. I'll just go lightly, I think. Now, I'll be honest, I've just realised I've gone green for earth, but I didn't really want it to be blue. So, even though I don't know what colour would be. It's green because it's going to be blowing the glass. It's going to be blowing the leaves in the bottle anyway, so I am not fussed. But just while I've got a tiny bit of ink left on this brush, I'm going to try and get some of that green just near that image, as close to that image as we can get. Obviously we're going to do water splats. I'll have to go and get some water. Completely forgot about that. This brush is actually huge. I just want to try and smooth this green one out a little bit, just because that blue looks really nice. The red, I'm going to go back over with the red in a second. I think just around the edges, I'm just going to go in with that pumice stone to really darken it off. I'm just going to take some of that in there because we're going to do this green anyway. But I'm kind of liking it at the minute. Bit messy, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Red. I want to add some more red. Oh, I've got red ink on my hands. I keep touching the page. Don't matter. So we'll put a bit of now that's exactly what I didn't want to do. But it'll be fine. And then I'm going to take some of this now, pumice stone, which is quite a dark grey. I'm just really not loving that brush. Just give me 1 minute. There's so much wrong with it. Don't know why. Let's try this one. I do genuinely just think those are crap brushes. Just try this. It's absolutely tiny, but like at least it's coming off. To be fair, this actually might not be as dark enough for what I want it to do, so we might abandon this idea. we'll just see. If anything, it might just make the kind of age it a little bit, maybe. Yeah, I think we'll just abandon that bit. I mean, it's not bad. Right, water and a brush. Okay, so this is just going to be what it is. And got my little fan brush. I don't know whether that's what the correct names are, but that's what we're going with. Got my water, and we're just going to splat away. And give that a minute. I'll do the page fine because I've used Inktense, which is dry now, so it'll be permanent. And I use Black Widow pencils, so it's fine if we get a little bit of water splatter on there. I've got some kitchen roll. I just love grabbing kitchen roll for this. I have used this piece before, but so I'll turn it inside out. That little, I can see the water sort of pulling that ink off, so I just lie it on. Should be all absorbed now. Ta-da! So, I mean, it wasn't what I originally had in mind, but now what it does mean is that I can colour in these actual bottles themselves now. We can add in some gel pen the downstairs. Or I could have done that now, but I'll do that next. So this is just going to be, I know it was like a bit of a colouring chat, but didn't actually do any chatting there, because I was just playing around with the inks. But I kind of like it. I mean, that's not nice, but I'm thinking I'll fix that somehow. But I think when it's done and everything's coloured in, it shouldn't matter. But this is obviously water, earth, fire and wind. Like my little witch's bottles of elements for her spells. So that was just a quick little background ready for us to crack on. I never normally do the background first, but I did want to try and pull in some of the colours into the bottles because I'm probably not going to colour these bottles in. Just going to colour like the stoppers and the elements inside them. I don't think I want to do the actual bottles. But thanks for watching if you're still with me. A little bit of a crazy colour background there. But I do think Distress Inks, you can go a bit mad with your colours, because even this green and red has blended really nice. Like the red into this like browny colour, and even the brown into the blue. I know it's gone a bit green because it's picked up those yellow tones, but I do quite like it. And obviously when everything's coloured, then it's going to look like a completely different page. So don't forget to hit that like button. Leave me a comment, I'll get back to you. And I will be back and we'll tackle some of these elements together. Thanks for watching as always, guys. All that's left to say is adios.